You're listening to the Public Health Entrepreneurs Podcast with your host, Dr. Charlotte Huntley. Greetings, everyone, and thank you for joining me on this episode. On this podcast, we explore topics of interest that fall at the intersection of public health and entrepreneurship. My name is Dr. Charlotte Huntley, and I'm really excited that you've decided to join me on this episode. I'm a public health entrepreneur with over 25 years of experience in healthcare and in public health, and I've supported so many entrepreneurs along the way. I'm excited to support you through this podcast. Now, I'm going to take the opportunity to dive a little more deeply on what I discussed in the previous episode. So if you have not listened to episode 47, where I talked about navigating a crisis with my team, I also talked about things that we did really well in the setup and team structure of our organization that really made it possible to navigate the critical first steps and first couple of weeks of my personal crisis. If you haven't heard that episode, I encourage you to check it out. And I also referenced a few other episodes that I created and prepared before the crisis hit. So I think it really comes together, and I'm using this opportunity to share with you what I'm learning as I take a few steps, I learned some things, I'm sharing it with you because we're all likely to face crisis. Life happens and unexpected things come up that can shake the core and rattle us as business owners and entrepreneurs. One of the things I'm really grateful for with my team structure, and like I said, so many things that we did before the crisis that set us up to be able to navigate that so well, is the ability for my team to really step up and keep our business moving forward while I spent my time being more present with my family during that time. In this episode, I'd like to go into a little bit of what I consider some important considerations when building a team. I know a lot of you already have a team or are thinking about what that might look like for you in trying to build a team. I take these notes as I've been sitting and thinking about things and reflecting on what really stands out to me. And something I think that before I had this crisis, I knew it was important to me. Part of it is building this culture in my business that is a combination of, what I wish I had when I worked for others, and maybe a little bit of what I loved about some of the companies that I worked for, and just creating this type of culture that is really warm and just encompasses all the things that I wish I had. So some of these things I'd like for you to consider. Your values and what's most important to you may not be exactly what's most important to me. That's okay. That's not even what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to encourage you to consider what is most important to you. What are those values that you can embrace and bring together team members that embrace those same values so that you can create the culture within your workplace, within your organization that supports you. And I find that it supports you on a far greater level than you can imagine as you're putting all of this together. So we have a work culture that's built on this value system, and it serves us really well as a team. It ensures that our clients are always supported, as well as how we're able to support each other as team members. I do like using the phrase team because that's how I like to think of the members, whether they're part-time, full-time, contractors. We are part of a team that make up this business. And like I said, I witnessed firsthand during the crisis the importance of having such a culture and a value system. I felt supported by my team, and I watched how they supported our clients in my absence. Now, our value system really includes, I'm going to mention 2 core values, and one of them is clear communication. We use a variety of options to allow people to choose the best method of communication for them, while holding high the expectation to communicate clearly with other team members, as well as with our clients. For our team members that are facing, interacting directly with our clients, they engage on a regular basis with our clients. So here's a fun fact. This communication, this clear communication value is represented by the orange color in our logo. You may or may not have heard me discuss. I've only really mentioned this, I think, one other time. But that orange in our logo is by design because it represents that clear, warm communication. So it's how we want people to feel when they engage with our company, with our brand, with our organization, with our team members. And it's how we engage. It reminds us, it represents that feeling, that value. So that's really extremely important to us. Our value system also includes integrity. Now, that simply means that we do the right thing regardless of who's watching, in very simple terms. It is important for team members. It's important for the work that we do with our clients, especially since, you all know that we're very passionate about serving BIPOC organizations, Black, Indigenous, people of color, where there are already often trust issues and challenges. It is more important than ever that we are always doing the right thing, what we feel is best for our clients, and holding that value. Sometimes these values are just, people are either this way or they're not. It's not necessarily something that is taught. So I really look for people who hold these values close, and it's just that important. So another fun fact is that this is represented by the indigo color in our logo. So indigo represents integrity. And it is so important that I wanted those two primary colors to be infused in our brand and our logo. And whether you directly are aware of that or not, it's important to me and each team member, and hopefully is represented in how we operate, how we engage, and how we show up. Now, I encourage you to make note of values that are important to you and in your business. Initially, I did not know what I wanted. Our initial brand colors were different, and I didn't have a value system right from the very beginning, but these were always important to me personally. So I brought that into the business. And during this time of crisis, it really was such a demonstration of that throughout my entire team, both with the communication and with the integrity. I really cannot tell you how this is always important, but when this happened, this crisis happened, and I could see that and I could feel that, it was something that I instilled and set up that I'm so glad I did. And it showed up for me in a lot of comforting ways that I just never imagined before. So I really do encourage you to think about what values are important to you. And if you don't already have those in your business as a part of your business, then consider making that a foundational part of your core values of your business. I think it's incredible to find people who also have values that align. And in some cases, I've chosen people with those high values over skills and certain things that could be learned. They can learn certain softwares, they can learn how to do other things, but they may or may not learn some of these, and hold high some of these values. So this is that important to me. And I'm really glad that we've been able to build our team this way. I hope that this is helpful for you in some way as I'm kind of stumbling through explaining this to you, but I dive more deeply into topics like this in our private mastermind community. And although I'm sharing with you on this podcast episode and really hoping that you're able to take away, and I'm hoping that this is something that you're finding helpful for you as you're building in your team and growing your business, I do have this amazing mastermind group program, and it is best suited for established public health entrepreneurs. We work together online. We also gather together in person for 2-day retreats. We do this twice a year. And enrollment is open in June and December. And it's only open to people who have submitted an application. So if you're interested, if what I'm mentioning sounds interesting to you, we have a lot of details on our website along with that application link. So I encourage you to visit publichealthentrepreneurs.com and then click on Mastermind to learn more about our program and apply if it sounds like something that you would be interested in. We will reach out to you and take next steps. So you can find all of this information, the link to our website, in the description for this episode as well. As we wrap up, I would like to thank you for your time and attention and support of this podcast. I've been receiving a lot of, really positive feedback from people who are listening and really appreciating the stuff that I'm sharing, the value that I'm adding and providing on these episodes. I would love for you to help us spread the word about this podcast. There are some really easy ways to do that. You can share directly from the podcast app that you may be listening in right now. You can also share our website with a friend, publichealthentrepreneurs.com. And that's just a super easy way to help spread the word with others that may be looking for a resource like this podcast. Whichever way you decide to, I thank you for sharing the podcast and helping us to grow. All right, everyone. Until next time, have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you for listening. Visit publichealthentrepreneurs.com to learn more.